The writing, the animation, the collaboration, and sound design are the reasons why The Boy and the Heron is Hayao Miyazaki's best film. A lot of Hayao films don't really have a deeper meaning. And if you didn't know that already, I'm sorry to be the one to break this to you. Hayao sort of makes it up along the way, and he just kind of lets the work guide his hands and his mind, not trying to control it too much. In the documentary Kingdom of Dreams and Madness, he says, "This may sound ridiculous, but I've had staff tell me they have no idea what's going on in my films. When we were making Spirited Away, I didn't even know. The way I see it, we may never understand them. What does one know about this world?" In an interview with The Ringer, this is what was said. Even though supervising animator Takeshi Honda didn't know how the whole story of The Boy and the Heron would unfold, when he started working on Miyazaki's latest film, he knew from the very beginning of production that this would be a uniquely personal film for Miyazaki. It's not like Mr. Miyazaki completely storyboards the entire film. It's like we work, then he draws, and then it goes in tandem. But when he showed me the first part of the storyboard, and it was more than 200 cuts, I instantly could tell it was a very personal story to him, and it was very autobiographical. It was funny because you could tell that the character of Sochi is his own father, and he would only show us actual photographs of his father after we had done a little bit of work. So I was like, you could have shown this to us earlier, but it was very revelatory to discover what kind of person his father was by showing us that storyboard. Okay, so anyone who knows me knows that I believe when it comes to art in general, but film specifically, you need purpose, and you need reason, and you need logic. I think that's why a lot of Hayao Miyazaki films don't always work for me. Spirited Away is one of my least favorite films of his. Blasphemy, I know. And I think that the ambiguity of that film has a lot to do with it. The Boy and the Heron still retains like that free-flowing abstractness that is in all of his other films, but combines that special, organic, feel the story, don't just tell the story, with a more structured and purpose-filled blueprint. The art and the design of the movie, the animation process involved around 60 animators, which is a ton, working meticulously, producing about 1 hand-drawn minute of animation per month. So length isn't necessarily an indicator of quality, but in the case of Studio Ghibli and for The Boy and the Heron, it is. It is, like his other movies, jaw-droppingly beautiful. And the attention to detail, like usual, is just in every frame, in all the small things, the way that Mahito's bandage falls off naturally in the water, or the natural way he climbs out of the fireplace, placing his hand on the stone first. Ghibli and Miyazaki are second to no one when it comes to that kind of beautiful, natural, animated movement. It's in everything he's worked on, but with The Boy and the Heron, there's more of like this softness. There's just more of like this slow focus on those small details more than in his other films. Without question, this is the best sound design of all of Miyazaki's works. It's beautiful, it's haunting, and just all-encompassing. I would be so curious if anyone disagrees with me because I feel like it's obvious how spectacular the sound design in this movie is. So if you do disagree, let me know in the comments why. The music was composed differently from all of the other Miyazaki films. He used the same composer in all of his stuff. His name is Joe Masashi. And Joe and Miyazaki, they would always have these extensive discussions about the placement of the music within the scenes. But for this film, Miyazaki opted out for a different approach, asking Joe to view a nearly complete version of the film without any prior discussion, which is pretty much just the total opposite, which led to what Joe described as minimalist and deeply personal. 6 years, 60 animators, 1 minute per month. The voice actors, the sound design, everything else. These weren't just a group of people blindly following some auteur. This was a team of people unified with one goal and one purpose. And it had no timeline. Just when it was done, it was done. And this 6-year project is not some like 30-hour video game. We're talking about just 124 minutes, just 2 hours. It's a passion project for the majority of those who worked on it, and they just weren't there to collect some paycheck. They were 100% dedicated to the project personally and 100% dedicated to Miyazaki, his direction, and his vision. So what makes The Boy and the Heron Hayao Miyazaki's best film? It's because, unlike and more than his other work, The Boy and the Heron is a deeply personal, perfectly abstract, extremely collaborative, long, deliberate, and laborious work of love. His other works might have parts of those things here and there and to varying degrees, but none of them have all of them and bring them together in a perfect harmony like The Boy and the Heron does. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'd be super grateful and stoked if you subscribed. Thank you for watching my video.